Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Excuse the glare in the background. That's just the sun. That y'all are seeing right now. That's just the sun. So excuse the glare. So let's wait for everybody to get in here, and then we'll get it going. Interesting. I'm seeing we got one like. No, we got 2 likes and 1 person. I don't know how that's possible. 5 likes and 3 people. How is this possible? What kind of voodoo is this? How y'all doing? Again, I want you guys to just ignore the what do you call it? This glare right here. That's from the sun. So let me see. Okay, we got some people coming in. Generation, how you doing? Legendary Hoops, what's good? Thantone Kid, what's good? How you doing? Armani, how you doing? Welcome in. Wow, we got a lot of people in here already. We got 50 people in here. So let's just give everybody a chance to get here. Marco's in here, by the way. So say what's up to Marco. He's in here as well. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Ebenezer, good to see you. Yeah, we got some breaking news today that we're going to break. And then also, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about what Nick Wright said. So today, you guys are in for a very good show. Also, I just want to say for the people that are coming in, excuse this light. That's just the sun glaring. So I got a lot of stuff I want to do today. So let's just give everybody a chance to get in here. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. So almost at 100 people. I got some big news that I want to cover today. So while you guys are doing that, just check in. And let's give it a few minutes. Let me see who's coming in here today. We got a lot of people coming in here. So I want to thank you guys as well. Amen. Good. Welcome in. Who cares about Nick Wright? Don't worry. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about today, but I'm definitely going to cover this breaking news with Demarcus Cousins. So let's just give everybody some time to come in. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. I appreciate that. So we get the notifications out. Yes. Don't worry. Let me see who else we got. Mark Law. How you doing? Who else is in here? How you doing? Okay, Ebenezer. Timothy, what's good? How you doing? Welcome in. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep the likes going up. Also, check in and let us know where you're coming from. Let's give everybody some time to get on in here and it's live. Let's see who else is in here. Donald, how you doing, man? Hey, I appreciate that so much. We appreciate that. Midnight Blue, good to see you too, man. Good to see you. LeBron is just resting or his injuries is serious. Don't worry, we're going to get to a lot of that stuff today. I'm going to take my time. This is probably going to be our longest live. So just take your time. Yeah, Ebenezer, man, we've been working really hard. So we appreciate that. Newton, how you doing? HED, what's good? How you doing? How you doing? What it do? Ali, Adam Ali, how you doing? Don John, welcome. Clip, yes, welcome in. Quattro, how you doing? Welcome. I forgot Nick exists until somebody mentions this. That's a good one. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. Almost at 100 people. Let's give everybody some time to get in. We'll wait 1 more minute, and then we'll get into it. I know a lot of people are going to miss it, but let's just get it going. Dube, how you doing from South Africa? Legoat, that's what's up. Great way to brighten up my Monday. Don't worry, man. Hey, this is not planned. A lot of these lives that we do is usually not planned because we usually got so many other stuff going on, so it's kind of hard to plan stuff out. But we said, hey, why not? Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. Let me see. Pelicans versus Clippers. Who you got? I haven't thought about that yet. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover, so let's give it about 30 more seconds. Then we'll get into it. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover today, so let's just get into that. Okay, hey, from Jamaica. Hey, welcome in from Jamaica. It sounds pretty far from here. Welcome in. Let's give it about 20 more seconds. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. And you think, Serge, don't worry about it. I'm going to answer all your questions. So before we get started, I know some people are going to be coming in. As I said, for the people coming in now, excuse the light. That's just the glare from the sun coming in there. Lewis, welcome from North Carolina. Welcome in. So again, I think we're going to have a lot of questions here today again, guys. So again, if you want your comments definitely responded to, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel. It's next to the $sign. Just join the channel. You become a member. So you get your badge that you see some people have, those cool badges that they have. And then it will ensure that I respond to your comment because we're going to get a lot of comments coming in today. We're almost at 100 people. Let's give it 30 more seconds so we give everybody a chance. And make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. And then we're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm trying to manage my energy because today is going to be a long one. Is that sun? Is that the sun or is it just heaven? I don't know. It's the sun. It's pretty shiny. It's shining right now. David Banner, Trinidad, welcome in. Jordan Francis from Florida, how you doing? Okay, welcome in. Far, what's good? How you doing? Am I late? No, you're not late. Aiden, you're not late. We're just getting started. Okay, 5 more seconds and we'll get it going. And then, so again, just keep hitting the likes and then we'll get it started. Okay, so let's get it started. All right, so for the people that are coming in, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button as you come in. If you want to join the channel, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to ensure your comment is responded to. Let me get into this news here. So, as we were preparing to do this live, this breaking news just dropped about 10 minutes ago. And the breaking news is that Demarcus Cousins has now been picked up by the Clippers for the entire season. To me, that's very good news, right? The Clippers have been having some good pieces of news that are coming out over the last few days, but I want to focus in on this Demarcus Cousins news. We broke the news. We didn't break it, but we were one of the channels out there that really did a robust kind of report or an analysis rather when Demarcus Cousins was initially brought in on that first 10-day contract. So we covered it on the channel, right? But as you guys know, with these 10-day contracts, these contracts tend to go from 10 days and then they can extend it again to another 10 days. And that's how it usually works, right? You saw the player that the Clippers had picked up not too long ago. I actually forgot his name. We did a live on him and he came in and made an impact. And I think the reason the Clippers did that for these 10-day type of contracts, I think they do it in anticipation for either one of their key players. I'm talking about teams now. Either one of their key players either coming back or could have the potential of extending the period in which they do come back. So that's why they sign these 10-day contracts, because it gives teams some wiggle room. So you can pick somebody up, have him fill in a particular spot for you in your roster while you wait for a player to come back. I think that's generally the reason that they did that. Now, initially, when they picked up Demarcus Cousins, I think most of us would agree. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. We're over 100 people now. Just make sure you guys keep hitting the likes so we get the notifications out. When initially they went out there and got Demarcus Cousins, I think the reason that the Clippers went out there and got him was because of Serge Ibaka, right? Because Serge, as we speak, has only played 30 something, 31, 32 games or so for the Clippers this season. The Clippers have played 60 games. So Serge has missed at least 45% of the season. And I think the Clippers saw that Ivica Zubac was just not enough of an insurance policy because they didn't have a backup big. Usually, what would happen is this. When you play Zubac, when they start the game with Zubac, given the fact that there is no Serge Ibaka, who would be the backup center? Patrick Patterson. And Patrick Patterson is basically a power forward that plays center for the Clippers. He's 6'8", 6'9", playing the center position. So that wasn't good enough, and it was putting too much pressure on Ivica Zubac. So I think the Clippers initially went out there and got Demarcus Cousins to fill that void. That's the first thing. Second thing, Demarcus Cousins already had a relationship with Rajon Rondo, right? So the Clippers have done this job. The president of basketball operations and the general manager of the Clippers have kind of put this thing together where they're bringing players into this team that are good locker room guys, but guys that already have chemistry with guys that are already on the roster. For example, with the Serge Ibaka acquisition, don't forget that Serge won his first title with Kawhi Leonard with the Toronto Raptors just 2 years prior. So him and Kawhi Leonard already had a relationship going. That's one thing. You now bring in Boogie, who has a very good friendship with Rajon Rondo. So they're bringing in guys that can enhance the chemistry in the locker room, right? You're not bringing in like a guy that really nobody has a relationship with, airdrop him into your roster, and all of a sudden like expect chemistry to kind of just flow. So the Clippers have been doing a good job with that. Now let me get to the report that was dropped. This news came out by Adrian Wojnarowski. So I want to read you guys this information. This news just basically dropped 30 minutes ago. So this is what Adrian Wojnarowski said about the Clippers. He said the LA Clippers are signing DeMarcus Cousins for the rest of the season. Sources tell ESPN. Cousins' second 10-day contract expired this Sunday, right? He signed his first 10-day contract with the team on April 5th. Funny enough, DeMarcus Cousins only signed with the Clippers this month. And it's interesting because the Clippers have been doing a lot of winning this month. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. Cousins, with his time with the Clippers, was averaging 9.3 points and 8 rebounds in 14 minutes in each of their last 3 wins. Now, here's something to pay attention to. Okay, DeMarcus Cousins has been a bright spot for the Clippers. He has, hey guys, make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys. The likes are pretty low. Please make sure you hit the like so we get the notifications out. I appreciate that. So listen, since DeMarcus Cousins has been on this team, the Clippers have been winning. He has a very similar effect like Terrence Mann. Y'all notice that when I think they traded away Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley went down, you notice that whenever Terrence Mann would come in the game, a lot of good things would happen. It's always a net positive when you have him in the game. And I think that's the reason why coaches have been giving him a lot of minutes. I think is the same thing with DeMarcus Cousins. They say, wait a minute, we brought the guy in. He's filling in nicely. He's giving us some good minutes. And we're still winning. He's not interrupting the chemistry of the team. So I think for that, the Clippers saw that, listen, it's a win-win, right? Because you're going to get him on the cheap. You're not going to spend a lot of money to get him. I don't have to go into the contracts and how that works because the video is going to go off into a tangent and we're going to end up talking about something else. But I think the Clippers decided to go with him. It shows that this guy's been having a positive effect on the team. Now, let's talk about what DeMarcus Cousins brings. Before we get into that, let me just see what you guys have been saying. Let me just make sure you keep hitting the likes. Let's see what you guys have been saying. Okay, let me see. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Yeah, let's see. What's good? Hey, how you doing, Sam? How you doing? Damn, almost on 100 already. Yep, appreciate that. Let's see. Yogi Farrell, exactly. Yogi Farrell. That's the video we did. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. So almost at 150 people today. Let's try to get it to 300 plus. Yeah, Chris Lopez, thanks for that, man. There's nothing you can really do with these spam artists, man. You just let them rock out. I don't know what they gained. I don't know what you gained from doing something like that, right? Like, I don't know what you gained from doing something like that. Let me see what else you guys are saying. We can't start Zubac if he can't guard Jokic. Okay, we'll get to that a little bit later. Let me say, I'm back. I was with the dude who joined the last stream in the last minute. Okay, welcome back. Nathan, welcome in. Legault won't be there, sir. Okay. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Let me see what else you got. Imagine having Ibaka and Cousins on the court. I can't believe we have Batum on a veteran minimum. Yeah, because you remember Batum is coming off of that situation that he had with the Charlotte Hornets, right? It's going to be hard to kind of negotiate a big contract. So those veteran minimums actually tend to be good if you have a good team that knows how to pick up good players that are kind of just sitting there on the market. So kudos to the Clippers for that. So I see a lot of comments are still coming in there. A lot of comments. So again, guys, if you want your comments to be responded to, make sure you go ahead and join the channel. Let me get into this. Let me continue with this video here. We're getting close to 200 people. Please keep the likes up. I would appreciate that. And let's keep it going. So let's talk about what DeMarcus Cousins brings to this team. Okay. The first thing is this. No one here is going to dispute the fact that DeMarcus Cousins is a very skilled big man. When he was healthy, the debate in the NBA was DeMarcus Cousins the best big man in the NBA? And at that time, him and Anthony Davis were playing on the same team, if y'all remember, with the New Orleans Pelicans. So DeMarcus Cousins is a very, very, very skilled big man. Another thing I like about him is this. He provides spacing. This is something I have been talking about all season long, about spacing, or the lack thereof. We've been saying this, right? I spoke about the trouble or the problems that the Clippers have when you have a Vincent Zubac on the floor. He brings a lot of positives, but he also messes up with their spacing. That's something that he doesn't provide, and he clogs up the paint. If y'all have been listening to Skip Bayless, right? I said this before I listened to Skip Bayless, so let me use Skip Bayless's term. I didn't second guess this. I first guessed this. I wasn't listening to Skip Bayless when he was talking about this because I was talking about this with the Vincent Zubac and the Clippers, but he's been talking about Andre Drummond and the Lakers. He talks about the issues that Andre Drummond brings, because he brings a lot of there are pros and cons to him. Helps you with your rebounding, helps you with your defense, but he also hurts your spacing and he clogs up the paint, right? So it makes it a little bit hard for LeBron James and Anthony Davis, KCP, Alex Caruso and these guys, what's his name? Dennis Schroeder, to get easy drives to the basket, clear lanes to the basket because he's clogging up the paint. This is something I've been saying. So it's not like as if I'm here regurgitating what Skip Bayless said. This is what I've been saying, right? DeMarcus Cousins doesn't have that problem because he spreads the floor. DeMarcus Cousins this season, guy, at least for the Clippers, he's shooting. Let's look at his percentages. For the Clippers, he's shooting 48%, 49% from the field, but he's shooting 50% from the three, right? So he's spacing the floor for the season overall in 33 games. He's shooting 35% from the three overall. Now, his free throw shooting is a bit low. I think it's going to get higher as he gets more attempts, but he's also getting the Clippers in the limited minutes that he's playing. He's getting you 4.5 rebounds in limited minutes. and he's getting you 1.3 assists. So Demarcus Cousins, for the role that he's coming into play, right? Depending on matchups, welcome to the channel. Appreciate that. Depending on the matchups that he's going to be going up against, he gives you a lot of versatility, and he adds a lot. He adds a lot to the depth that the Clippers have at the center position. So if we're going to look at this roster, the Clippers roster from top to bottom, right? I think the Clippers are loaded at every single position. If you go to the point guard spot, they have 3 solid point guards. One guy that plays the point guard really is a 2-guard masquerading as a point guard in Reggie Jackson, but he does a serviceable job. You have Patrick Beverley, you have Rajon Rondo, you have Reggie Jackson. So I like that guard combination that they have at the starting line at the point guard position. Then you have at the 2-guard, you have Paul George, who traditionally is listed as a small forward, but given the fact that he can play that position very well, and Tyronn Lue. Let me talk about Tyronn Lue for a second, and I'll get to your comments. Let's talk about Tyronn Lue for a second. Tyronn Lue and his coaching staff. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes, guys. We're almost at 200 people. Appreciate that. Tyronn Lue and his coaching staff have been doing a much better job, or one could say a masterful job, with Paul George this season at putting him in different spots on the floor to operate so he doesn't become too predictable to defenses. Paul George can score in a myriad of ways. If you look at how he operates on the floor, that's kudos to the coaching staff, and they're putting him in the right positions to succeed. You got to give credit to the coaching staff for that, right? They're really utilizing the entire range of his offensive skill sets when he's playing on the floor, and you're seeing it pay off. I already went through the numbers of Paul George's efficiency and how he's been playing in the month of April. Paul George, if I pull up his numbers, just to talk about Paul George for a second, because I know he doesn't get enough love, but just to kind of hammer home this point, and I'm going to get back to my point. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover, guys, but let me just talk about this Paul George stuff. If we just look at if we look at the advanced data, let's look at Paul George in the month of April, right? To kind of crystallize the point that I'm making about Tyronn Lue and how the coaching staff has been using him. Also bearing in mind, in the absence of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George in the month of April in 10 games, okay? So it's a decent enough sample size. They play 60 for the season. In 10 games, Paul George is averaging 29.6 points per game, basically 30 points per game. He's shooting 50% from the field, right? And he's the focal point that defenses are keying in on the offensive side of the floor. So he's still able to score at a very efficient level. He's shooting 44% from the 3, 91% from the free throw line, getting you 7.6 rebounds, 5.1 assists, 1.5 steals per game. That's Paul George in the month of April. I don't think that's by chance. I think that's by design. And you got to give the Clippers coaching staff some credit for doing that. Okay, Deuce Don, thank you for that. You know how I feel. Yes. Now, let me just say something. Let me just highlight Deuce Don here. He just did a super chat. There's a reason I'm highlighting him. Deuce Don, excuse me, guys, is part of our Dreamerspro Max online platform, right? And usually when we chat live during games, Deuce Don is a very big Paul George fan. And every night he comes in before the game starts, he goes, Paul George going for 40. Paul George going for 30. So he's a real Paul George supporter. And to his credit, Paul George has been playing well. So kudos to you for sticking with your guy, Paul George. Anyway, let me get back to my other point. So, as I said, he adds depth to their center position. Now, we got about 220 people in here. I appreciate you guys for hitting the likes. Keep the likes up. Let me say this before I continue. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover for the new people coming in. We were just talking about the Demarcus Cousins signing for the rest of the season, right? But I got a lot of stuff I want to cover, so I'm going to get into that right now. If you guys have any questions in the 20 minutes that we've been on, if I haven't answered it about Demarcus Cousins, please leave it in the comment section because I got a lot of content that I want to cover. So let me go through some of your comments before we continue. Let me see what else you guys have been saying. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover, so I want you guys to hang around with us today. Let me see. PG is good. Yeah, PG's been doing his thing. Let me see what else you guys are saying. LeGoat will get bounced in 5 or so. Okay, Tori's a diehard Clipper fan. I appreciate that. Too many different lineups. We need to start. This is Juan Martinez. He's talking about lineups and all of this. We're going to get to that in a little bit later. Let me see what else you guys got. Bro, we need Cousins in the playoffs. I think so too. Okay, so let me continue here. So let me talk about something else that I wanted to talk about before this Demarcus Cousins news. Again, if you have any questions about Demarcus Cousins, leave it in the comment section. If you want your question to be absolutely answered, make sure you join the channel so I can see your question. So because there are a lot of comments here. So let me get to this. So today, guys, I got a pretty interesting live for you. That was the first part. That was my breaking news segment. So today, I was sitting here minding my business. Okay. I was busy doing me. Okay. I was having a little bit of a tough day, but I was minding my business. So I turn on the sports medias. HED, welcome to the channel. I turn on the sports media thing just to catch up on the news. And I see that Nick Wright and these guys are talking about the Lakers, right? And the possible return of LeBron James and all of this different stuff. So I said, okay, let me tune in. And sometimes Nick Wright tends to aggravate me. I'm not going to lie to you. He tends to aggravate me because he says a lot of things that I just don't understand. Hey, Eddie, thanks for that. Welcome. Appreciate it. Hey, Keith, welcome in. Welcome in. He says a lot of things that I don't like. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes, guys, so we get it to 300 people today. So Nick Wright goes on, right? And he starts talking about the return of LeBron. Now, before I get into that, let me give you where this news came from. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, he said it over the weekend. He said that LeBron James will most likely return this week. That's what he said, okay? Because y'all know Woj is usually dropping this news. And I read up on Bleacher Report about the news, and it looks like LeBron James could make a possible return this week to the Lakers, which I think is good news, okay? Because the Lakers have been sliding in the standings. They've been losing a lot of games. If I look at the standings right now, and I look at the Lakers in the Western Conference, the Lakers have lost the last 3 games in a row, right? But it's fine because teams lose games. The more important part is the team that they've lost to the last 2 games, okay? The Lakers, the last 2 games the Lakers have lost, they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Some of y'all are like, but who gives a damn about the Dallas Mavericks? They're 1 seed behind them. Who cares? The problem is this, guys, okay? The Dallas Mavericks, their current record is 33-26. The Lakers' current record is 35-25. So the Lakers have 1 more loss, okay? If the Dallas Mavericks end up with an identical record with the Lakers, okay, pay attention to this part because this part is crucial. The Dallas Mavericks already have the season tiebreaker on the Lakers. So if they end up with identical records, the Mavs are going to get the higher seed. And the higher seed is going to really determine the route that you take in the playoffs to get to the finals. So it's really important, right? Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. Let me get back into this. So after seeing all of this, coming off the heels of this, they asked Nick Wright, what are his thoughts about the Lakers, about the possible return from LeBron James, and then he goes on and some other things, right? So I want you guys to take a listen. I got the sound right here. I'm gonna play it on my phone on YouTube, and I want you guys to listen to what Nick Wright had to say. I'm going to play it for you guys. I'm sure you guys are going to hear it just fine. And I want to talk about this thing about what Nick Wright is saying, because this is at the heart of the issue that I have with Nick Wright. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let me play it for you guys. I want you guys to take a listen to this. Okay, listen to Nick Wright.
To go from the 8th spot.
Listen.
Okay, well they're not going to have to go from the 8th spot, but the loss to Dallas on Saturday was their worst loss of the season. That was a terrible loss. They were up 17 points, right, and then they couldn't score for seemingly 20 minutes, and they ended up getting blown out. And it was a doubly damaging loss because they now don't have the tiebreaker with Dallas. They lost the season series 2-1, and so if Dallas ties them at the end of the year, the Lakers drop to 6 and Dallas is the 5. As they currently sit at the 5, their path to the Western Conference Finals could not be better. You get Denver in round 1 with no Jamal Murray. Denver's drawing dead. And then you get Utah in round 2. So the Lakers, if they stay at 5.
You saw how he just talked, like how he just glossed over Utah, like as if we were talking about the Pelicans. Okay. Yeah, you just get Utah. All they are just the best. All Utah is one of the best offensive and defensive teams in the NBA. All they are is that they have the best record in the NBA. Yeah, but nobody needs to worry about Utah. Keep listening.
Are in a great position. But 6 would mean potentially the Clippers or the Suns in round one, and now your path to the finals is demonstrably more difficult. Luckily for them, the answer to this question is very simple. Will LeBron solve all their problems? Yes, obviously, of course he will. Like, what are we talking about? Guys, listen, I understand that we can't remember everything.
Now, listen to this. I want to play this part for you guys.
And be LeBron.
Listen to this.
I don't see AD picking up his slack.
Listen.
Except you're wrong. They only need Anthony Davis to be great in the finals. LeBron, if Anthony Davis was done for the year, the Lakers would win the West based on the strength of LeBron. And how can I say?
Did y'all hear what Nick Wright just said? For the people that didn't hear what he said, let me just tell you what he said in that second part. Nick Wright said, okay, if Anthony Davis is not healthy or he's not available for the Lakers from now to the finals, it'll be just fine. LeBron is going to be able to take the Lakers without a healthy AD to the Western Conference Finals and to the finals. That's what Nick Wright just said. Okay, I had to go out there and hunt down this audio for you guys just so you guys will hear this, because if I explain it to you is one thing, but I wanted you guys to hear that. And he said it'll be a cakewalk because LeBron James solves all of his problems. So let me get to my points here. Okay, he said that no AD, no problem, right? And if there's no AD, the Lakers will win the West. Let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question in the comment section below. I want you guys to tell me, just to answer my question with a yes or no. If Anthony Davis is not healthy, are the Lakers winning the Western Conference? Please leave an answer, yes or no. I just want to hear what you guys think. Let me get some interaction from you guys. If AD is not healthy, do the Lakers win the Western Conference? Please leave your comments. Let me see what you guys are going to say about that, because I'm curious to know how many people actually agree with this. Just let me know. No, 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 hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no. Look at the comments. So help me understand, what is it that Nick Wright is seeing that that we are not seeing? Does he think that people like we're a bunch of fools? Look at what people are saying. No, no, hell no, hell no. Look at the comments. He just said that LeBron is going to come back and solve all of their problems, and without any AD, it makes no difference at all, right? It makes no difference at all. So let me ask you guys this question, okay? And this is one of the reasons I can't take Nick Wright seriously. I don't understand what people find about this to find this to be entertaining. What is the big fascination with somebody coming out there and saying stuff like this? So let me ask you guys a question. Help me. Let me know if you guys remember this, okay? Since Nick Wright said, it's no big deal. It doesn't matter. Obviously, he was going to win. Now, let me ask you guys this. Do y'all remember the game? Okay. Do y'all realize that the Brooklyn Nets, without Kevin Durant, walked into the Staples Center without Kevin Durant? All they had was James Harden and Kyrie Irving, and they put a beat down on the Lakers, who had LeBron James, who played in that game, but Anthony Davis didn't play. That Brooklyn Nets team, without Anthony Davis, went into Staples, and also that same Brooklyn Nets team also beat the Clippers. But talking about what Nick Wright said, he beat them, and he beat the Lakers without Anthony Davis, right? And then Nick Wright comes out and says, when he asks Nick Wright about the Nets, he says, no, the Nets are no really big threat. They're a fraudulent team. He believes that the Sixers are going to be better. He may feel like the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be better. So let me ask you guys a question. If the Nets, who are not that good or kind of fraudulent, or their defense is one of the worst defenses that the NBA has ever seen, according to Nick Wright, the same Nets team, if the Nets, without Kevin Durant, walked into the Staples Center and beat the Lakers with LeBron, as how he just described it, you don't need Anthony Davis because you got LeBron. If that Nets team that's so trash was able to beat the Lakers, then what does that say about the Lakers? This is how you catch Nick Wright in his flagrant foolishness. Guys, you don't need a PhD for this. You don't need a high school diploma for this. Even a kid can understand this. All it takes is a little bit of listening skills and a little bit of reasoning, and you can see through it. How is it possible that the Lakers are supposed to be able to cakewalk to the Western Conference Finals or get to the finals without AD, yet they couldn't even beat a Nets team that wasn't even in full strength when LeBron James played, but all of a sudden it's supposed to beat every single team in the West? How? How is that even possible? And this is some of the stuff that Nick Wright goes on TV and says. It's unbelievable to me. Like, I don't, only Nick Wright can say stuff like this. Okay, so we finally made it close to 300 people. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. Let me go through some of the comments before I continue. Let me go through some of the comments that you guys are saying. Let me go through some of the comments here. Okay, well, let me see what you guys have been saying. LeBron is too old, first of all. Let me see. Lakers not meeting the Clippers in the conference finals this year. Let me see what else you got. Nick doesn't remember that LeBron didn't make the playoffs. But see, please, like Nick, like at a certain point, like I don't know. Some people love this guy. Some people think what this guy says is like, it's really groundbreaking stuff. Like, wow, maybe I didn't see it that way. Only Nick Wright could see. Let me see what else you guys are saying. That's the same Brooklyn team that smacked us with. Exactly. This is Martin Schmidt's comment. This is the same Brooklyn team that beat the Clippers without KD, and all of a sudden, the Lakers are supposed to get the cakewalk through the West, but yet they got beat by a not full strength Nets. But the Lakers, please, Nick Wright just be there. He just be out there saying stuff. Let me see what else you guys got. Why are there no segments on the Clippers today? Nobody's not going to talk about the Clippers. Hey, Candace, I think Candace Leo's in here. How you doing? Okay. Nick Wright sucks. Okay. So let me get back to the comments here. So again, make sure you guys keep leaving your comments there and your questions there. So let me get back to the content here. So let me give you guys some stats. Okay. Since we want to talk about this here, the Lakers right now, as we're sitting here speaking, the Lakers rank number 23 in offense in the NBA as far as points per game. Okay. They're scoring about 109.6 points per game. They rank number 22 in three-point shooting. They're shooting about 35.4% from the three. However, they still have the number one defensive rating. I don't know how all of that works, but somehow they do it, right? So the question I want to ask you guys is this. Are the Lakers going to be a better team with or without Anthony Davis? Because to me, I think the Lakers need a healthy Anthony Davis. And looking at Anthony Davis, since he's returned, I'm going to go back to a point that I mentioned earlier. I've been saying this all season long. As somebody that was a Kobe Bryant fan, that loved Kobe, that knows exactly what Laker fans expect from their team. I've been telling you guys, hey Max, thanks for that. I didn't see it. Thanks for that. Let me check it out. I've been telling you guys, appreciate that. I've been telling you guys that I don't believe Anthony Davis is that dude. Since AD's comeback, the first game he looked timid. The second game, he was very rusty. Now, there's nothing wrong with being rusty. But my question is, LeBron James is 1 year older. LeBron is 36. Now you brought back Anthony Davis, and now all of a sudden, it's like, when can LeBron James get back? Because they're still slipping. You just added a top 10, top 6, top 7 NBA player to your team, and y'all can still get out some wins? Y'all still can't get some of these wins. You're playing against the Dallas. I don't even think they had Kristaps Porzingis. The Mavs are good offensively, but they don't play great defense. And you couldn't get a win, and you got Anthony Davis on the floor. Now, some of y'all may say, but wait a minute. You're not being fair to AD. AD just came off an injury. Good point. I'm glad you brought that up. What about Kevin Durant? Didn't Kevin Durant just come off an injury? Did y'all see what Kevin Durant did just last night? KD is he's like a cheat code. He's the only dude that I know that can come back after missing some games, walk in, shoot 57% from the field, shoot 67% from the three-point line, shoot 87% from the free throw line, score 33 points in 28 minutes coming off the bench. Who y'all know in the NBA can do something like that? Even Kawhi Leonard, my favorite player. When Kawhi misses 1 or 2 games, usually that next game he's a little bit rusty. Not KD. Kevin Durant gets up out of bed, throws on some sneakers, stretches, and can go out there and get you 25 points on 11 shots. He's the only dude that does this. Secondly, wasn't Shannon Sharp calling Anthony Davis the baby goat? Wasn't he the one saying that? The baby GOAT? So if he's the baby GOAT, and this is the type of numbers he's putting up, who's Kevin Durant? He must be the cow. Because I don't know what you say about this dude. KD is out of this world with it, man. So let me get back into the video here. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover. Let me go through some of your comments. KD wasn't hurt though, but I don't know. They say he was. I'm only going off the report. This is Mark's comment. He's saying KD wasn't. I'm just going off of the look at what Paul George is doing, but AD's supposed to be so much better. Listen, that's just it depends. It depends on who has the microphone. If I was on ESPN, if I was talking about the Clippers, trust me, a lot more people will be talking about the Clippers. It just depends who's up there because I'll be trumpeting them every day because I believe that this team is really good. Isaiah Goodwin. Okay, thanks for that. Nick Wright, if Braun came back and AD was out for the year, the Lakers will still win the West. They have Braun. That's what yeah, exactly. Only Nick Wright can say something like this. Who do you know that says this? Who do you like with, as they say, who raised you? That's what my man TK Kirkland be. Who raised you? Like, where do you find these dudes that they be saying this kind of stuff? I never meet these people in reality. I went to high school. I never met these dudes. Where do you meet these dudes at? I don't even know where these guys come from. They be coming up with this stuff. It's only Nick Wright. Like it's just like anyway. So let me continue here with the content. I got a lot of stuff that I want to get to here. Keep leaving your comments. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the Clippers now. The Clippers as we speak. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The Clippers as we speak have had the number one record in the NBA since the All-Star break. Guys, that's not a fluke. That's not some wishful thinking. That's not what Clipper Darryl said. That's what this is what the facts are. The Clippers have improved as a defensive team. This is not like we're not imagining this. Okay, the Clippers have really improved. The Clippers rank number 6 in the NBA in points per game. They're scoring about 115 points per game. Now, LeBron James is coming back to the Lakers. I expect their scoring to go up, or at least their offense to run a little bit smoother. The Clippers are still the number 1 ranked three-point shooting team in the NBA, shooting 41.9, 42%. They're the 11th ranked defensive rated team in the NBA. But if you go and watch them as a team, they've been really holding teams close to that 100-point mark, which I love because it's something I've been complaining about all season long. Oh, by the way, the team that Nick Wright says, the Clippers, who play in the Western Conference, that team that he says, oh, even without AD, no problem. LeBron is going to steamroll over them. Yeah, that Clippers team that's in the West, that's making about 14.5 three-pointers a game, that Clippers team, all they have is just the number 3 record in the NBA with, think about this. The Clippers have the number 3 record in the NBA. I want you guys to ponder on this for a second, okay? And their starters, the Clippers starters, their starting 5, I even got to the bench, have missed a combined 90 games this season. 90. Basically, the Clippers starters have missed over a season's worth of basketball combined. Think about that for a second. The Clippers have played 60 games this season. 60. Their starters have missed 90 games. If you average that out, basically what that's saying is the Clippers on average, every single game they're playing, they're missing at least 1 starter per game. Now, if we do, they're missing 1.5 starters per game. That makes no sense. What the hell is 1.5 starters? So let's just say this. For every single game, the Clippers have missed at least 1 starter for the entire season. And somehow, some way, this team still has the number 3 record overall in the NBA. And somehow, some way, LeBron is supposed to come back, clap his hands in the air, throw some dust in the air, and all of a sudden he's supposed to walk into the Clippers arena and beat them. What 5-6 games in a how is that supposed to happen? Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. I see we're over 100, 300 people. Let's try to get it to 400. Let's break our record today. Let's try to get it to 400. And nobody talks about it. The only person that's talking about it is Skip Bayless. And I respect Skip because he believes that, listen, he believes in the Clippers. If they lose, guess what? You only got to be right once, right? If they lose, they lost. At least you took a position. If the Clippers go to the playoffs this year and they lose, at least he took a position. Yeah, Candace, I'm cracking you up right there. Yeah, I know, right? At least he took a position. I think the Clippers are going to win it all. but I still got to see what the Brooklyn Nets look like, because if the Clippers get to the finals and they meet the Nets in their full strength, I'm going to be worried. But for now, I still think the Clippers have a good shot to come out of the West, because I think the two best teams in the Western Conference are the Lakers and the Clippers, and the Lakers when healthy. I'm not smoking that as Shannon Sharp says, that flocka that Nick Wright is smoking. I'm not going to disrespect the Western Conference and say, oh, if Anthony Davis doesn't play, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Big Penguin, he's going to be the one to take us to the promised land. And have y'all noticed that since the Big Penguin has shown up, that's not my name, that's what they gave him. I'm not making this up. Since the Big Penguin showed up, do y'all notice a player that's been suffering is Montrezl Harrell? Have y'all noticed that? People were coming at me like, oh, you hating on Montrezl Harrell. You a hater, son. Get off this dude's nuts. Blah, 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 blah. Hold up. Did Montrezl Harrell grow 3 inches since he signed with the Lakers, or is he still 6'7"? Does Montrezl Harrell still not play the power forward position? Is it just me, or did I miss something? Montrezl Harrell is not tall enough. And yesterday, he didn't even make it on the floor. What happens if Montrezl Harrell, the Lakers go up against a team where they need their bigs? What's going to happen? You're going to bench him? You think that dude is going to take it likely that he got benched? You see how he's always scowling and how he always looks pissed off when he's playing. Montrezl Harrell is the most angriest starter I've ever seen in the NBA when he's playing. So you think they're going to bench Montrezl and he's going to be on the bench cheering like Patrick Beverley? Oh, I can't wait to see it. You about to get a little bit of dose of Montrezl Harrell, because soon he's going to be looking at AD. Oh, that's Montrezl Harrell for you. Montrezl Harrell is the dude that, what they call it, pocket watching. He's a pocket watcher. That's exactly what the hell he is. Instead of focusing on what he's doing, he's trying to understand, why is this dude over there making all this money and I'm not? Forgetting the fact that you're just not that dude. He was mad at Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Help me understand. What is it that Montrezl Harrell has accomplished? Help me understand that. He has a 6 man in the NBA. So what? Okay, let me not say so what. Fine. He has a 6 man in the NBA. Y'all gonna put him in the same, you can't even, forget about putting him and Paul George in the same classroom. You can't even put them in the same university. Kawhi, you can't even put them in the same country. So for him to have an attitude talking about, oh, yeah, Kawhi, I don't know who these dudes think they are. He coming up in here, he missing flights. I understand that. That could be annoying. That's inexcusable, missing flights. That's irresponsible. That also has to let you know about the culture that was set on ground, talking about the coach. But Kawhi Leonard, if it was true that he was causing those players to miss planes, and that's wrong. I don't agree with that, because you got to show respect to your team by being late. I think now he finally put his hand in his pockets and said, oh, hold up a minute. I must be worth like $200 million. I think I can afford a $17 million penthouse in downtown LA. Why the hell am I catching helicopters every single day when I can just stay in downtown LA? I'm rich enough to do it. Somebody must have got to him and say, hey, man, hey, you realize you still got like $150 million in the bank, right? Like, you realize you don't have to be running to the airport every morning, right? You do realize that, right? You do realize you can just get an apartment out here. What do y'all think? You think that Kawhi Leonard now is still running back and forth? Oh, please make sure the plane doesn't leave without me. Y'all serious? I saw an episode on ESPN, or a segment of Stephen A. Smith. He was still in the studio past 10 o'clock. You think Stephen A. Smith is going to drive all the way to New Jersey? For anybody that's lived on the West Coast, who do you think is going to hop in the car or whatever it is and go all the way back to New Jersey? He was staying in Manhattan for the night. You sleep in the city. Then the next morning you go home. You think he has to pay for it? The team can pay for it. You got enough money. Stephen A. Smith is making $1 million a year. Stay in New York. Stay in Manhattan. The next day go home. Why was Kawhi Leonard missing planes? So if that's what Montrezl Harrell was upset about, I'm with him. I agree with you. But for you to be thinking about why this guy got preferential treatment and why because the dude got 2 rings, son. Step your weight up. Step your game up. It was just that simple. So now Montrezl Harrell is with the Lakers. He's probably not going to get some minutes for some rounds. And y'all think that dude is going to be cheering? Good luck with it. Good luck with it. Because the Penguin, I'm not making fun of him. That's his name. The Penguin is going to be getting all his minutes. Y'all think, wait. Y'all think that the Lakers are going to sacrifice a big body like the Penguin to bring in Montrezl Harrell? They're not going to do it. So Montrez better put on his big boy pants and realize that the Lakers are going to be doing whatever the hell it takes to win. And he's going to quickly realize that LeBron James, although he does a lot of great things, LeBron James, his number one priority is LeBron James. He's going to do whatever it takes to win his title. He's not going to be looking at you. You're indispensable. You're just another wheel. You're just another cog in the engine. And that's what he's going to have to realize, that LeBron don't give a damn about you. LeBron is trying to win titles. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. Hey, Rambo, how you doing? If you guys have any comments, make sure you go ahead and leave the comments. Make sure you join the channel if you haven't already. Let me continue here. I got a lot I want to talk about. Let's talk about my man, Serge Ibaka. Because a lot of people have been asking me about Serge Ibaka. Let's talk about Ibaka. Let's talk about him now. So Serge Ibaka, I got some news on him. It turns out that Serge could possibly be making his return before the season is over. I saw the other day, I think it was on ESPN, on Instagram, Serge Ibaka was doing some training in the pool, right? And it looks like he's beginning to do some work now to start getting healthy. Another thing I heard was Tyronn Lue said just yesterday, I think after a Sunday practice, he said that Serge Ibaka is finally playing 4-on-4 practices. Practice 4-on-4, which means now he's finally back on the court. I see y'all are cracking up in the comment section. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. Let me just continue here. So Serge looks like he's doing his thing, and he looks like he's going to come back on the court. For me, I think that's a very, 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 very positive sign. It looks like the Clippers are starting to get ready, healthy at the right time. And while I'm on it, I also think that Patrick Beverley is going to come back before the playoffs. Now, whether or not he's going to start, whether or not he's going to come off the bench, that I don't know. But I do think Serge coming back is a big piece of news, and I'll tell you why. This is what Serge Ibaka brings to the Clippers, guys. Number one, Serge Ibaka brings shot blocking. Zubac does that, but Zubac never led the league in blocks 3 times. Right now, Serge he's not the spring chicken that he was before, but he's only 31 years old. Right. And if you take care of your body in good health, he looks to be in good shape. You can still perform at a high level. The second thing is he's a presence in the paint. He's a rim deterrent. The other thing that I love about Serge is this. He's a good or serviceable individual defender. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. We're almost at 350. Let's try to get this thing to 400. Make sure you guys also, if you haven't joined the channel, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel. If you want to make sure your comment is read, I got a lot of stuff I want to get to. I got some good content for you guys today. So just stick around with me. We're going to have a lot of fun. Anyway, so Serge, okay, as I said before, he's a great individual defender. Something that the Clippers could have used last year in the playoffs, especially against the Joker, who terrorized Montrezl Harrell and Ivica Zubac. He terrorized them. They just were not skilled enough to defend him. They just were not. He was, especially on those high pick and rolls, he was passing the ball. It was like darts. He was picking that Clippers defense apart, especially when you have a big that's basically playing from the top of the key, posting up from the top of the key. Essentially, y'all saw how they were killing the Clippers with those back cuts, and he tore them to pieces. And on the other side, he can rest on defense. The Clippers were having issues with getting to the basket because there was no spacing. Serge gets rid of all of that. And he would do a much better job on him. That's number one. So that's another thing. He's a big body. As I said, he provides spacing. You saw the impact of Serge Ibaka on the Clippers with his spacing when they played the Nuggets on what's the day? On Christmas Day. Serge was stretching the floor. So so the Joker could not just pack the paint like normally like bigs and centers like to do. He spread the floor out. That's another thing he's going to bring to them, which is going to make their offense even more lethal because he's a three-point shooter. Another thing that he brings is that Serge Ibaka has championship experience. I think in all of this, thank you guys for the likes. We're over 200. Let's keep getting them up. Let's try to get to 400 people today. Another thing we tend to forget is that Serge Ibaka is a champion. Serge brings in championship experience. You now have 3 guys on the Clippers that have legitimate championship experience. I'm talking about legitimate guys that have made deep playoff runs. Last year, that was something the Lakers had. They had LeBron. They had Dwight Howard had been to the finals. They had Danny Green had been to the finals. You had Rajon Rondo had been to the finals. You had guys that had been to the promised land before. Those are the main guys that they have. Last year, who did the Clippers have? Kawhi Leonard, and that was it. And Montrezl Harrell, who thought they should have been playing him like Hakeem Olajuwon. That's basically what they had. This year, it's the reverse. The Clippers went out there and got some experience. Serge has been to the finals. You got him. Serge has been to the finals twice. They got Serge Ibaka now. You got Rajon Rondo, who has 2 rings, who's made multiple deep playoff runs. I think Rondo's been to the finals, 1, 2. Rajon Rondo he has 2 rings. He went to the first or second one. I think Rajon Rondo's been to the finals 3 times, right? You got Kawhi Leonard. Excuse me. So you got players with serious championship experience. So the Clippers, to me, are in much better position this year to contend than last year. The fact of the matter is this, guys. This ain't the old Clippers that we're looking at over the last 20, 30 years. They never had a Kawhi Leonard. They never had like a player that caliber. Y'all got a legitimate dude in Kawhi Leonard. Had those guys played a little bit better, go back and look at the numbers last season. The Clippers would have made it to the Western Conference. Go look at the production of Lou Williams, Lemon Pepper himself, the guy who I feel no remorse that he left. Clipper fans, some Clipper fans, a subgroup of Clipper fans were feeling emotional about it. And I get that. But guess what? Lou Williams wasn't thinking about you when he was in Magic City. He wasn't thinking about you guys. He wasn't like, man, I can't go to this place, man. What about all those Clipper fans that bought my jerseys, man? I can't be out here getting lap dances like this. This ain't right. I got to go back to the room and do the right thing. What about all of these dudes? What about all of these dudes? These guys that cared about me. No, I can't do this. Lou Williams gave you guys the biggest middle finger and went out there and had some chicken wings and got a lap dance, and he lied about it. Said he was attending a funeral. Then he had to go out there. Oh, I wanted some chicken wings. Are you high? Who can't order chicken wings and let them bring it to your house? You're Lou freaking Williams. You're from Atlanta. They can deliver to your house. But now he had to go out there. And then some people were like, oh, well, you're being a little bit too harsh on Lou. Lou didn't give a damn about the Clippers. He didn't even want to be there. So when people were feeling sad, have y'all noticed? When was the trade deadline? The trade deadline, let me check. When was the trade deadline? Just hold on a minute here. Let me see this. The NBA trade deadline. Let me see. When was the trade deadline? That was on, when was that? The NBA trade deadline. That was on March 25th. Interesting. Very interesting. Hold up a second, guys. I got another piece of the NBA All-Star game. Let me see. When was that? That was on March. When was that? That was on March 8th. Okay. And then the trade deadline was when? March 25th. Have y'all noticed something interesting? Or maybe it's just me. Maybe because I've been paying attention to the standings. Have y'all noticed that the Clippers have gotten better since Lemon Pepper got shipped the hell up out of there? Is it just me? Or have y'all noticed that this team has actually gotten better since they got rid of Lemon Pepper himself? So I don't know what this thing is about people that I'm not sentimental in that to that point. The Clippers made a business decision. Last year, Lou Williams made it a business decision for himself. He said, I'd rather go do my own thing than come back into the bubble. I don't give a damn about the fact that the NBA is trying to make the season happen. I don't give a damn about the fact that the Clippers are trying to win the title. All I care about is just doing me. And then lied about it. Go look at the numbers of those dudes in the playoffs last year. Lou Williams was averaging like 18 points per game. He was averaging like 10. Go look at the rebounds that Montrezl Harrell was averaging in the play. He was averaging like 2.9 rebounds. Your power forward was averaging 2.9 rebounds, and dudes missed this dude. Talking about I'm hating on it. He hating on himself. What are you talking about? You went up in there, you stunk up the joint, and then you got to add it. You got the nerve to turn and look at Kawhi Leonard and act like as if Kawhi Leonard is supposed to be paying attention to you. Like, come on. So that's that with the Clippers. Serge is coming back. I think Patrick Beverley is going to come back, and I think they're going to have a good. I know it looks like I'm roasting the dude, but like, come on, son. Come on. Like, yo, you wildin'. Y'all making me bring out my New York. Y'all are making me break character right now. Like, come on. You wildin' with that. Come on. You serious? Like, come on. Anyway, so let me get to the next topic here. I got another topic for you guys. We got 350 people. Please, guys, keep the likes up. Let's keep it going. And then let me get through some of your comments. Also, let me say this now that we're in here. Guys, if you guys have any, what do you call it? Any questions or basketball topics that you guys want to talk about, Make sure you guys check out Dreamerspro Max. It's an online sports community, a place where you can go and start basketball discussions. We do it every single day. Chat live during games. We'll probably go live tonight during the game. I got to check. We go live for all of these games, so we chat live during games. Get to consume content that you're not going to find on the channel. So many other cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We're going to link that at the end of this video and get 7 days of access. So you guys are going to enjoy it. Also, during the playoffs, we're going to be live chatting for all of those games. So make sure you guys do that now because there won't be the 7 days access. So you guys can check that out. We're going to link that there so you guys can do that. Again, I see a lot of comments here. If you haven't joined the channel, please make sure you do so I can see your comments. Yeah, Tori's out there cracking up. I see that. Terrence Mann, I see that. Juanita, the Hawks got better with Lou Williams. Also, to be fair, well, let's see. Let's look at the Hawks right now. How the Hawks doing? The Hawks right now are the number 5 seed. Yeah, they probably did. I haven't looked at his numbers yet. They probably did. I got to look at his numbers. Let me see. Lou Williams numbers with the Atlanta Hawks. He's playing pretty. Let me see. The Atlanta Hawks. He's playing pretty much the same. For the Clippers, he was playing 21 minutes a game, 22. Hawks, he's playing about 2 more minutes. He's scoring about the same, 12.3 points per game, shooting 41% from the field, about the same. His three-point shooting has gone up by 7 percentage points. That's gone up. Free throw shooting is about the same. He's doing pretty much the same thing he was doing with the Clippers. So, yeah, obviously maybe that's something that they needed. Maybe they needed a scoring punch off the bench. I was just talking about from a character standpoint. When you're going out there trying to win titles, you don't need these type of bad apples on your team. And some people may say, well, there's been some situations in the past when players have done that. Yeah, Dennis Rodman. Who here is confusing Lou Williams with Dennis Rodman? Yeah, Dennis Rodman can get away with that when you're going to go out there and average like 18 rebounds a game. Yeah, no problem. Hell, if you want to do whatever the hell you want, no problem. But I know when this dude is going to come back, he's going to be a freak of nature. He's going to play exceptional defense. He's going to guard Karl Malone. He's going to get you a lot of rebounds. He's going to bring toughness. No problem. But Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players of all time. That ain't no goddamn, that ain't no Lou Williams. So let's just be real with that. Anyway, let me get back into this topic here. We've been on here for about almost an hour. I got some more content for you guys, so just stick around with me. I got some other stuff that I want to talk about here. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Who should the Clippers get in the offseason? I don't know. That's too soon to talk about that. Let me see what else you guys are saying. I miss Lou, though, man. Who said this? Why you miss Lou? What you miss about Lou? What is it? Is it his hairstyle? What you miss about him? Is it his smile? What do you miss about Lou? Because I don't miss. Maybe I'm hating. I don't miss Lou Williams. All right. You know what? Let me stop. Let me just move on. Okay. Hey, Tori, thanks for that. Kawhi's your guy, but you might be coming over to Clippers. Hey, listen. Now that Tori is saying it, let me just say this quickly. We were talking about it the other day. As far as I've been watching basketball, I've been watching basketball for about 20 years now. Believe it or not, guys, I grew up in New York. I wasn't like a Knicks fan. I was always like a players type of fan, right? The first player I liked a lot was Steve Francis, but he kept on letting me down. I know some of y'all are going to crack up about that when I say Steve Francis. I'm sure the jokes are going to come in. And then I liked Kobe, right? You see somebody already getting on the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks suck. I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to front. They suck. They sucked, at least. They suck. But anyway. They sucked. Anyway, so I was a Steve Francis and Kobe fan, right? So Kobe was the reason I kind of got into basketball. And that's just how I rocked out because he was my favorite player. Then, of course, it became Kawhi. But now that I'm actually, because I followed him in Toronto, but actually now that he's with the Clippers, I actually like the Clippers because, listen, their organization that looks like they're doing the right things, they're trying to move in the right direction. And to be quite honest with you, I want the Clippers to win just because I'm really tired of the slander on the news. Like, it's too much. Number one. Number two, I think you should be fair about it. If the Lakers do well, you clap for them. If the Knicks do well, you clap for them. If the Celtics do well, you clap for them. But I just didn't think it was right that if this team is doing their best to play, they play well, and then all of a sudden you don't want to mention them, nobody wants to give them any props. I thought that was wrong. I think that's wrong. Like, give everybody a fair shot. If somebody's doing their thing, big them up. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like a lot of that is not happening with this team, and that's why I'm supporting them. Kind of like this kind of underdog kind of thing. So that's the reason I'm supporting them. But I do think they have a chance. I'm not just sitting here talking. I think they got a chance to win it. And certainly Kawhi Leonard helps that. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. Hold on. Let me see some of your comments. Charles, you happy for the Knicks this year? I'm happy for it because I think I know a lot of my friends from New York, people that I went to school with, I know they're going to be hype. Like New Yorkers, they love the Knicks, man. So I'm hype about that. Lou Williams was a smooth player. Yes, he was. Stevie franchise, you got it right. Stevie ain't too bad. No, he wasn't too bad, but then y'all know what happened. Stevie was that dude for yeah. Steve Francis reminded me of Russell Westbrook for a minute. Y'all think about that athletic point guard that could dunk. Like he was like a Russell Westbrook kind of. T-Mac, okay, how do you feel about Lou getting his ring if the Clippers win the? Yo, come on, y'all trying to mess with me. How can he get his ring? Your boy Greg said, how do you feel if Lou can he get his ring? Can Lou Williams get a ring from the Clippers? No, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. Can he? I'm not sure if he can. Y'all, maybe I'm wrong. Charles Squire will put the fair another thing. Yes, he will. Okay, so let me get to this last part here. And then we continue. Just keep leaving your question, comment, and comments. I want to talk about the return of Kevin Durant. That's what I want to talk about. Okay. This Brooklyn Nets team, I don't even know what to say about this team, right? One day, they look like they're falling off a cliff. They lost 3 in a row. Then the next day, Kyrie Irving goes out there and starts balling, and then KD comes back. Guys, let's talk about it. As I said earlier, say it again. Kevin Durant got out of bed yesterday, walked into the Brooklyn Nets arena, scored 33-point shot, 57% from the field, 67% from 3, got you 6 rebounds, 4 assists in 28 minutes. And the team that they beat was the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, that's the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. KD and these dudes did that too. Like, help me understand what we should think about the Phoenix Suns. And the Suns played well, right? Devin Booker scored it. He played well. He got 36 points. He did his thing. He hit a lot of threes. He hit like 4 out of 5 threes. Chris Paul did his thing. He had 14 points, 8 assists. He did his thing. Torrey Craig did his thing. DeAndre Ayton did his thing. And at the end, it's like as if it didn't even matter. So the question I got to ask you guys, if KD, hey, Max, thanks for that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that comment about Skip. We can talk about that if you guys want. If you guys want me to talk about that KD versus LeBron, you can just leave a comment and we can talk about it. If the Brooklyn Nets can come in there with all of these players coming in and out of the lineup and beat the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, what does that say about the Nets? Or what does that say about the Suns? Like, this Brooklyn Nets team, it's like any way you want it, they can give it to you. Just say how you want it, and they can give it to you. This team, I don't even know what to say about them, to be quite honest with you, right? Kyrie Irving played well. He got buckets too. And now some people are beginning to see the difference between an Anthony Davis and a Kevin Durant. They're not the same. Dudes are talking about AD's top 5. No, he's not. AD cannot do what he just did. This dude just did. AD is a very talented player. No question about it. I thought he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. In my opinion, I thought he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. But come on now, KD's on a different level. Kevin Durant is one of the top 3 players in the NBA. I think you got LeBron, KD, Kawhi. This is the top 3. Then you can throw in there Stephen Curry. He's in there. And then you can put in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then from there, you can do the next 5. Some people may say, no, it's James Harden over Giannis. But I think Giannis does so many things that James can't do if you're talking about offense and defense. And James can do so many things as far as like scoring and facilitating the ball. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, I mean, he does so many things for him. He can't shoot as well. But Giannis is Giannis, man. Like, if you go and look at his numbers. And I don't think AD makes it in that top 5, and you're beginning to see why. I think the Knicks are going to be scary. So the Nets are going to be scary. So I think I've said, and he's also proven it because he never steps up when LeBron is out. LeBron has been out. AD ain't looking like the dude that's going to lead him to the promised land. So now they got to rush back LeBron. I thought you was the man, son. Now all of a sudden we talking about LeBron. Let me see. Hey, thanks for that, Omar. Those lives are fire. We need. Hey, I appreciate that. Hey, listen, these lives, man, they're a little bit impromptu. We don't plan them. Okay, Candace Leo said, just call Kyrie the N-word. And yo. Yo, Kyrie doesn't mess around, man. Tori, couple of weeks. PG has been tearing it up. Yeah, PG's been doing his thing. Javier, he barely got back. Okay. Alex, this is Alexander's. All the Clippers haters only look at 2K radio. Okay. Jose, okay. Do you Believe Kawhi can return to. Yeah, I think he can, man. Kawhi's been getting a lot of rest. Let me see what else you guys got. Let me go through some of your comments here. Let me go through. We've been on here for about an hour. I think I've answered most of your questions. If you guys have got any questions or comments, leave them now so I can answer them so we can kind of let this thing breathe. Good luck with that. Okay, do you think the NBA should reprimand LeBron? Reprimand him for what? This is Zaved 80. What reprimand him for what? Just give me the context for that. Aiden AD said he ain't scared of whoever they meet in the first round. That's because maybe him and Nick Wright be texting. I don't know what's up with AD, man. Whatever. PG will probably choke in the playoffs. Probably. I hope he doesn't. PG, this is going to be a big year for PG, man. If he steps up, the Clippers got a shot. If PG plays the way he's been playing with this offense, he got a shot. Okay, let me see. Nikola Jokic over 8. Listen, Nikola Jokic has played every single game this season. The dude has played all 60 games. All 60 games. And dudes are talking about Stephen Curry. Come on, cut it out. Nets have beaten every team comfortably except the yes, exactly. The Nets have beaten everybody. PG got this. Okay, Candace Leo. Bro, PG choked 1 year and y'all can't stop clowning him. Yeah, that's how it works. Nah, he's not choking. I hope he doesn't. Your boy, Greg, thanks for that. Lou gets a ring for staying long enough before trade. Wow. If Lou Williams ends up getting a ring, I don't even know what to say about that. Let me see what else you guys got. This is the year for PG to prove his haters wrong. He better. This is a big year for PG, man. This is a big year. You see, they call him in Pandemic P. It's a big year for him, right? Especially in the social media era. It's like, the last thought they have of you is what you are. At one point, Meek Mill was like Paul George at one point. Y'all remember, Meek Mill was like the former Paul George, and now all of a sudden, Meek Mill dropped some albums, and we kind of forgot about that whole back-to-back and all. It's amazing what time can do, especially when you perform well. Somebody got jokes. They call him Vaccinated P. Y'all are wilding. Let me see what else. I want to see Reggie pop off 30 in the playoffs. We got to see that. So players getting participation awards now, I guess so. Ibaka is coming back soon. Yes, I think he is. Okay, let me see. I'm a Kawhi fan, but Paul George is simply not trustworthy. I think he's not trustworthy over the last 2 playoffs, but to be fair to him, Paul George did have shoulder surgery. If you go and watch him in that OKC, I think it was against the Portland Trailblazers, if I'm not mistaken. Paul George, I think, was injured then because he had to get work done on his shoulders in the offseason. I think he was injured then, to be fair. Thank you guys for hitting the likes. Just hit the likes a little bit more. Let's see if we can get it to 400. We're about 360 people. Let's see if we can get it to 400 before we go. I appreciate that. PG in 2019 was great. Dame by far, PG is trash in the playoff. Well, Damian Lillard has come up big in the playoffs, but he's also come up short. Like, remember what Drew Holiday did to him with the New Orleans Pelicans? He put him in his back pocket and threw away the keys. Y'all remember that? Don't act like that didn't happen. That did happen. Batum is doing his thing. PG has broken his first round curse. Batum, I hope they get okay. PG snapped one leg. Yes, he did. Paul George broke his leg. There've been some crazy injuries this season with dudes breaking, like, so many crazy injuries this season. Let me see what else you guys. Dame was try. Okay, let me see. Holiday apps. Yes, if you guys remember, Drew Holiday clamped up on him. The PG jokes are getting old. Yeah, PG just has to show up. Okay, let me see what else you guys are saying. PG's the best comeback player in NBA. We got to see. He has to show it in the playoffs. I think if Paul George goes on a good playoff run this year, it's going to do wonders for his legacy. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Paul George is coming back from his broken leg. Okay, yeah. PG has always performed in the playoff. Yeah, okay. So let me see. KD, LeBron, Steph, Leonard, Harden. Okay, somebody got Harden in the top 5 over Giannis. No problem. Let me see what else. Dame wasn't okay. Okay, so I think I've answered pretty much all of your questions. I think I've gotten everybody here. I think I've covered everything. For the people that came in late, we spoke about earlier about Demarcus Cousins signing an extension for the rest of the season. He's going to be with the Clippers for the rest of the season. I think it's a good pickup. I like everything that he adds to the team. We covered that earlier. We also spoke about Nick Wright and his foolishness, talking about if what's his name? Anthony Davis is not healthy. LeBron James and these boys are going to put a beat down on the Western Conference. No problem. That's what Nick Wright said. We covered that. I think we spoke about everything. So again, guys, if I didn't see your comment or if you left a question I didn't see, make sure you guys hit the join button, leave your comment on the channel. It's going to go to a separate section on the channel where people who have a badge, I can see your comments. So if you haven't, if I didn't get back to you, please make sure you go ahead and do that. If you guys want to chat live with us during games, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max. As I said, it's an online sports community. You can chat live during games. Make sure you guys check that out. We're going to link that in the description below. And I think I've answered everybody's question here. Just curious, why do you put LeBron over KD and Kawhi? Why do you put LeBron over KD? No. I just said that it wasn't in any particular order. I just said it in any kind of order. So don't take that. So do you think PG could win the finals MVP? He could. He certainly has the talent to do it. I think he could. So anyway, guys, I think I've answered all your questions. Thank you so much for being on here. We don't know when next we're going to be live, but definitely be on the lookout for that. We appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take it easy, everybody. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.